Hello guys, let's talk cryptocurrencies today. Today's Monday, February 4th, and guess what? I'm going to get the charts open in a minute, but I want to talk about what the Fed's doing. The Fed's doing has everything to what's going on with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are positioning themselves right now, and there's only one thing standing in their way right now. That's the US dollar. It's like a big sumo wrestler standing in front of cryptocurrencies and saying, none shall pass. Anyway, the thing is this is what's standing in the way of cryptocurrencies, the strength of the dollar. And everything to do with the strength of the dollar has to do with what the Fed's doing. The Fed's withdrawing liquidity from the system, $50 billion a month. And they were raising interest rates rather quickly. Now, they backed off the pedal on the interest rates, but they're still withdrawing that liquidity from the system. And they created this last dip we saw in the market that's caused them to back off the pedal a little bit, scared them a little bit. But the market has since recovered some. But, I think what's happening, if they continue withdrawing $50 billion of liquidity from the system, it's going to continue to support the dollar. And as long as they continue, even this plan they have to just one interest rate hike next year, all this continues to support the dollar and pushing to a little bit toward deflation rather than inflation. That's why the Fed said, hey, you know what? We want to see some inflation first before we start raising interest rates again. They're frightened of deflation. And there is a little bit of deflation in the system. This is what's affecting keeping cryptocurrencies suppressed. So let's get in there. Let's get this chart started right here. And let's take a look at what's going on. First, this is starting to show again now in gold. Now, we see what's happening with gold today. Minus $7 today. And we see the depressed Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. It's down at right now at 3409, and it's struggling really to actually hold this floor that it's made. It made a floor around 6,500. Now it's found the floor in around 3,500, 3,400. It's struggling to maintain this floor. Here's what I see. I see the bargain of a lifetime coming up. Because I think we're going to have one more pulse very possibly in the markets downwards before the Fed finally starts to really relent and has to really not just talk. I mean, right now it's talk, okay, we're going to be patient and all this patient talk. But more than just talk. They'll have to relent on their programs. As soon as they do that, the dollar's been being undermined for the longest time now, the petrodollar. It's being undermined by China, it's being undermined by Iran, it's being undermined by Soviet Union, it's being Russia, it's being undermined by all of these different entities are undermining dollar. Europe, to get around American sanctions on Iran, what are they doing? They're creating systems to bypass the SWIFT system. Everything is eroding the strength of the dollar in the world, and we're still seeing dollar inflows coming in. And this is the reason why is because it's just like if you had a giant pool of water, and if somebody started to undermine that, say a dam or something, and the water started to flow at the other end of the dam, well, the water's all going to flow toward that direction. And that's what's happening with the inflows of money. The Fed's sucking the money out here, and it's inflowing from over here, from other places, coming in. And we see a lot of this pouring into the U.S. Treasuries. They can only suck this $50 billion a month so long before all of a sudden they're going to have sucked all the liquidity out from underneath the markets that supported the markets after the 2008 crisis. So what we're going to see happen is we're going to see one more pulse downwards. And this one I think is going to be a rather steep, sharp pulse downwards. It's going to force the Fed into shifting directions. When that happens, that's when we're going to see the next bull run cryptocurrency start. But I think we're going to have one more pulse downwards first. This will create the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And I want to show you something right here. Twitter's CEO. He says, Bitcoin will be the next internet's native currency. And I believe he's right. I believe Bitcoin and the altcoins, certain top altcoins, are going to become the coins. They're going to become more than coins. They're going to become the currency of the future. But on the way there, and right now we're in a bear market, and I think this bear market could get worse before it gets better. I think that ultimately it's going to, for a long-term investor in cryptocurrencies, this is going to set up buying opportunities that opportunities you'll never have again the rest of your life. But I think Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are going to go lower first before they go higher. Then they're going to start to go up at a certain point, but it's only down first until we get the Fed's everything. Behind Bitcoin, behind what happens to Bitcoin, is what the Fed's doing. It's everything. It means everything. When the Fed relents on their monetary policy, shifts gears, this is going to be the big shift for Bitcoin. But not only Bitcoin, for gold and silver too. We see the Fed, we didn't see much of a pop or a move in cryptocurrencies when the Fed said that they're going to be patient. We've seen a pop and a move in gold and silver, and we're now seeing this pop go back down again. That's because the Fed is pulling the wool over all of our eyes. What they're saying and what they're doing are two different things. It says Bitcoin and overall the crypto market did not perform well over the last year. No kidding. Coin lost 80% of its value since December of 2017. It says, however, many Silicon Valley tech personalities are still bullish on the digital asset. And, I don't blame them, because this is the future of money. This is the future of the internet. And it's just because things have cooled down right now doesn't mean things couldn't heat up really fast if the situation in the financial system leans in that direction. And I think it's going to pretty soon. I think we got one more pulse downwards first, so one more little hard hump to get over before we're there, It says, I believe the internet will have a native currency. I don't know if it's Bitcoin. He says, I think it will be, given all the tests it's been through and the principles behind it and how it was created, Dorsey told the podcast. So, yeah, Bitcoin, I think, is heading toward, ultimately in the end, to be the store of value. I think that other coins are going to be the currency, but Bitcoin's going to be the gold behind the new financial system that's being built, ultimately. And what would its value be if all of the world's assets are based on a solid platform that can never be more than 21 million, and that has to be spread through the entire world's value of the entire system. I think that $1 million a piece would be cheap, to tell you the truth. So I think that's ultimately where we're headed. I don't think Bitcoin's going to die. I don't think it's ever going to die. I think it's just going to become more and more wanted as a digital store of value, ultimately, in the end, that can be transferred around the earth almost instantaneously. So listen, thank you guys for listening to my report this morning, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye for now.